Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Are you listening to the right podcast? Because you're supposed to be listening to Three Guys in a Flick. Are you listening to that right now? Then you're in the right place. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the band.
to the band
Of Mr. Schneebly.
of Mr. Schneebly
And will not fight him.
and will not fight him
For creative control.
for creative control.
And will defer to him on all issues related to the musical direction of the band.
And will defer to him on all the issues related to the musical direction of the band.
Let's rock!
Three guys and a flick with Duncan and John. Dive into the movies well after the dawn. From the good to the bad to the wildly absurd. They give a fuck about films. Their voices are heard.
Welcome back. You are listening to Three Guys in a Flick. This is where we review the good, the bad, and the absurd. Tonight's episode, School of Rock. Beware spoilers. Coming to you from WROK's Battle of the Bands, my name is Don. And to my right, we have the comic book guy, John.
Hiya.
And to my left, we have the professor, Ken.
You're tacky and I hate you.
You see me after class. Tonight we are talking about School of Rock. School of Rock comes to us from the Bronco helmet via one of our listeners, Nolan N. So, Nolan, we hope you enjoy the review. Released on October 3rd, 2003, School of Rock was directed by Richard Linklater, written by Mike White, and it stars Jack Black, Joan Cusack, Mike White, Sarah Silverman, and a bunch of other rock stars.
How'd this movie do, Don?
This movie was made for $35 million and brought in $131 million.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. Hey, did you guys see this in the theater?
Maybe.
I think I did.
Oh, I did. I love this movie from the moment I watched it, and I love this movie the same still.
Well, that's what's going to be one of my questions for you. The more I watch this movie, it seems like it loses a little bit of luster each time.
Really?
Oh, how fucking dare you,
I don't know,
dude.
there's something about Jack Black. I love his antics. I love his outrageousness. But each time when things are going to happen and the way it's going to be, it's just chaos each time. It's just not as exciting for me.
Well, I just feel bad for you.
And the movie is very cliche.
I have the opposite of that.
I just don't think in this particular instance, this movie is cliched or loses its luster. I think this movie has the opposite effect every single time, because this is one of those films that has a scene that will bring me to tears every single time I watch it. It's like a Rocky II moment.
I'll be interested in hearing which scene that is.
Yeah. Yeah. But I probably come at it at a different perspective than you as well. And I think that perspective comes out as we get into the meat of it.
So you're saying that the kids in this movie touched you?
As much as I touched them.
Okay.
Yes. Richard Linklater. Where do we know him from?
I believe Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. And he also did a movie that we reviewed here on The Three Guys.
Scanner Darkly.
Yeah. Thanks, TJ. Richard Linklater, you're right, did Dazed and Confused. You guys have seen Dazed and Confused, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Did you see its spiritual sequel, Everybody Wants Some?
No.
No, I haven't, but you were talking about it earlier and it sounds interesting. What's it about?
It's Dazed and Confused in college. The shenanigans and tomfoolery of late 70s college kids. So, listeners, throw that in the helmet. We would appreciate it.
Either one of those.
Yeah. This movie is written by Mike White. I didn't know who Mike White was until he was on The Amazing Race. And when he was on The Amazing Race, have you guys ever seen The Amazing Race? You know what it is?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yes, you know what it is? No, you've never watched it.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So, they're on, him and his dad are on it, and I'm watching it and I'm going, God, that dude was in School of Rock. And it turns out his name's Mike White. And then I go back and look and I went, oh, fuck, that dude wrote School of Rock. And turns out this guy's written a lot.
Yeah, he plays Mr. Schneebly in the movie as well.
Yeah. He's written Nacho Libre, the Emoji Movie, which didn't do so well. Pitch Perfect, Despicable Me 4, and I think he has some other credits out there as well.
He does.
Jack Black, where do we know him from?
Everywhere. We how many movies have we reviewed of Jack Black?
2 others, I think.
Well, I think we reviewed one of his greatest movies,
Which was?
Waterworld.
Yes, we did. And it is a fantastic movie, I'll give you that. And we also did Jumanji, the first one.
Yep.
Or the Welcome to the Jungle
Welcome to the
series.
Jungle, yeah. And if you had to pick your favorite Jack Black movie,
Hands down this. School of Rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I kind of seesaw back and forth between possibly this. I really liked him in Tropic Thunder, and I also liked him in the Welcome to the Jungle Jumanji movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that, in my book, Jack Black can very rarely do any wrong. I think he's funny. I think Jack Black is a persona, and I like that persona. And so whatever movie he's in, he kind of plays the same him in a lot of them, but I dig it. So I'll watch anything he's in. But in this one, in School of Rock, I think he has so much heart. And it comes across on screen, and just the passion he has for music, specifically rock. I fucking love it, and I can relate. So,
You ever followed his band, Tenacious D?
I've listened to him a couple times. Yeah.
I actually got to see them in concert. They're so much fun.
Oh, I can only fucking imagine.
What was your favorite Jack Black movie, Professor?
This one, for
This
sure.
one?
Yeah, I kind of sort of think of School of Rock as the Jack Black movie.
That makes sense. And he was,
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
I mean, he was made for this movie. I mean, that's his, you really believe it because that is his life. He loves rock and roll.
Did you hear how Mike White was inspired for writing this movie?
I did not. How was that?
Well, he had a neighbor in the apartment complex that he was in that was Jack Black. And Jack Black had pretty much acted just like this living next to him. He was always playing rock and roll music, super excited, passionate. He'd run naked up and down the hallways, just, wacky, crazy antics. And so when he wrote this is how he feels this character is that he lived next door to.
Oh, yeah. Well, it definitely shows. It definitely shows.
Sarah Silverman. Are you a big fan of hers?
Not really. I think a little Sarah Silverman goes a long way. How about
I'll agree with that.
That's a good way to put it.
She can be funny at times, and she's not in this very much, which I think helped, because when she was in it, I was always on Dewey and Ned's side, So for what it was and what the character was written for, I think she did a great job. I think everybody in this movie was cast perfectly. Not that I could recast any of the kids because I don't know any of the kids, but I think that this cast is almost timeless.
I think the casting of the kids was actually really well because they all really played the music and really sang. They did it live. That's the director insisted. He wanted kids who could play live.
Yeah. Out of the kids, which one was your favorite?
I would say Freddie. I kind of liked Freddie. He's just the attitude and the stick it to the man kind of thing.
Sure. What about you there, guy?
Yeah, I was endeared to Freddie as well. He brought a lot of angst, which is something of rock and roll.
Oh, sure. I really liked Zach. I liked
Zach Attack.
Yeah, I liked the fact that he wasn't really all that gung ho to get started, but he turned it around, and the transformation he makes from the day one at school to the opening of the song at Battle of the Bands, I like it. So he was my favorite.
I almost felt like this movie was a Dead's Poets Society, but a rock and roll version with a little less suicide.
Why? Because they both happened at schools?
They both had in schools. They both had teachers that were kind of brought into and inspired them on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, okay.
Sadly, of all the cast, our Freddie actor, he passed away.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he passed away. He's was an avid bike rider, was riding his bike through an intersection, and someone unfortunately T-boned him. So when they did the reunion just, 5-10 years ago, where they brought them all back on stage and they all performed, he wasn't there because of it.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
All of the kid actors, for the most part, none of them went on to do any acting. The girl who played Katie, Rivka Reyes, she did go on to do, and she does do some acting. She did say that after her performance in School of Rock, she found herself to be bullied and ostracized because of her time in School of Rock. The actor who played Zach, Joey Gadas Jr., he said that he went back to school and he felt completely isolated and cut off from everybody, and he just felt like an outcast.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Absolutely too bad.
I did hear a lot of them, though, did have some musical careers. They actually did perform and produce songs.
Oh yeah, the actor who plays Freddie, Kevin Alexander Clark, he started drumming when he was like 3 years old, and then he started taking lessons when he was 5 years old, and he was an avid drummer. Same for Joey Gados Jr. He started guitaring at a very young age, and the actress who plays Tamika, Mariam Hassan, she's a singer.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
One thing I always thought about this movie is you see those actual School of Rock businesses that have kind of become a chain all over the place. I thought they were inspired by the movie. Turns out they helped inspire the movie because they actually opened up, a guy named Paul Green opened them up in 1998 with the idea of being an after-school program that kids could go to and learn via live performances. He is no longer affiliated with it because I guess he got into some trouble with bullying the kids and possibly some inappropriate touching, I guess. I don't know what exactly was going on, but some inappropriate business with the kids. So he is no longer affiliated with, but they are still around.
Yeah, I know. My nephew actually does it.
Does he? Did he enjoy it?
Yeah, he loves it. They're doing a performance in June, and they're covering the Police.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Last year, it was Rush, which was kind of fun.
I kind of wish they had him around when we were in school because that would have been a fun program to be involved in.
Yeah, well, yeah. Miranda Cosgrove, the one who played Summer, she goes on to do Nickelodeon shows, that iCarly show.
Mm-hmm.
Elise and Logan kind of grew up on that, so I always remembered her, and she actually did pretty well for herself.
Yes, she did.
But yeah,
one person we didn't mention was Joan Cusack. What did you guys think of Joan Cusack in this movie?
I loved Principal
She was
Mullins.
delightful in this.
Absolutely. Kind of neurotic and high strung. I thought she was great.
I really thought they were leading towards a romance with her and Dewey. I thought they were going to connect up somehow. And I was reading it, in my notes. They planned to have a romance, but because of timing, they just cut that whole part out.
I think the story's better for it.
It shows up,
Yeah.
I guess, if you go see the musical version, which of course I have, they do have a romance.
Yeah, no, it didn't need it, and you could have saw it going that way, or you could look at it as it going that way. But I'm with you, Professor. I don't think the story needs it at all. I think the story works from beginning, middle, and end just fine. All right, trivia.
You want to do trivia?
I don't know. Do you want to do trivia?
I'm ready to rock.
Let's rock. All right. My trivia questions are as follows. Question number 1. What is the classroom number that Mr. Schneebly teaches in?
Dawn. 13.
John, any guesses?
6.
21B.
Well, there you go.
Off to a great start.
Question number 2. What reason does Summer give Mr. S on why she doesn't want to be a groupie?
Dawn. Because groupies are sluts and they sleep with the band.
Point to Don. They're sluts.
And he's like, no, they worship the band. And when I first saw it, he said groupie, and I'm like, So that's pretty funny.
Question number 3. What is the name of the rare blood disease that Dewey tells the guy in charge of the auditions the children have?
Dawn. Stick it to the man anosis.
Close enough. I will give you the point.
What is it?
Anitis?
It's stick it to the man iosis. Question number 4. When the police are outside the classroom on parents' night and Dewey is explaining how great he thinks the kids are, what does he say about Summer?
Dawn.
John, damn it.
Do you want it?
No,
She's going to be the first president
female
of the
president.
of the United States. And if she were to run right now, I would vote for her.
yes. Question number 5. What band ends up winning this year's Battle of the Bands competition?
John, No Vacancy.
Correct. Point to John.
And you know what the cool thing is you're going to think this is absolutely cool. I kept thinking when they were singing, I know that voice. I know that voice. Do you know who that voice was?
For No Vacancy?
For No Vacancy, the lead singer.
No, who is it?
The voice of No Vacancy was Adam Pascal, who is also the star of Rent. He was the rock star in Rent, the musical and the movie.
Oh, that's where I fucking know him from then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I remember watching it, looking at him, and it's when he gets the short hair, because he starts with long hair in the beginning. And I'm like, God, why do I fucking know him? Why do I fucking know him? Rent.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
347, 8 million minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
We should.
I
wish,
fucking know.
I wish someone would put Rent into the helmet. That would be a great movie to review.
I don't.
Musical. And so this week's winner is Don. Good job, Don.
Thanks, buddy.
But you didn't skunk me.
No, I didn't skunk you. I haven't skunked you in a minute. So that's good. Struggling guitarist Dewey Finn is kicked out of his band No Vacancy after a humiliating stage dive and his disruptive behavior. Facing eviction from his apartment, which he shares with his friend Ned Schneebly and Ned's controlling girlfriend Patty, Dewey becomes desperate for money. When he intercepts a call from Horace Green Prep School looking for Ned to substitute teach, Dewey impulsively pretends to be Ned and takes the job. Clueless about academics and teaching, he introduces himself as Mr. S and stumbles through the first days, confusing both student and staff.
I really like how the opening was, I felt, different than a lot of other movies, that they started with all the little posters and everything. I thought that was clever. That was really creative.
Yeah, I like the intro as well.
I like the jacket that says Paramount. It's walking, it takes a left, and then we see a poster of the production team. And it really does it until we get the title, School of Rock, in the neon.
Yep. And then we get one picture of Jack Black, and then the rest of our credits on screen.
Yeah. And we are introduced to No Vacancy. And I like how Jack Black's in front of the big speaker and he's looking at the tech and he's all, I can't hear it. Turn it up. Turn it up. And you can, if you watch closely, you can see the lead singer and all of his bandmates roll their eyes and just kind of go, oh, fuck, here we go.
Especially when he starts like backing up and pushing into the lead singer.
Because you see that in rock videos, right? They sing together, but this guy's not having it. He's like, fuck, Dewey, come on.
Yeah, his over-the-topness on and off the stage is what gives Dewey his heart.
Yeah, because he is so passionate about rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes it to his core. And there's nothing he loves more than rock and roll.
It also really works out for Jack Black when he's the most active, the most physical one, with everybody else being non-physical. It just makes him stand out, which is perfect for this movie.
Oh, sure. And then so after his long guitar solo, he decides to take a stage dive. And as he dives and everybody, and everybody's going to move, no one's going to catch him. And he hits the ground. I remember thinking, oh, this is going to come back, because why wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it just goes to show you that, it's showing the audience who Dewey is real quick and kind of what people think of him at the moment.
That was, I guess, inspired by Jack Black actually going to a concert. I think he went to see the Cult and someone stage dived and everybody moved.
That's fucked up.
That is.
Fucked up.
Great little camera shot. The camera swirling around his head, and then it transports us to the following morning, and he's sleeping.
Right. And we are now introduced to Ned and Patty. They want to wake him up, and rent's due, right?
Well,
first of the month.
Instantly, you don't like Patty because she's just bossing him around.
Oh, yeah. And Ned is this kind of feeble, meek kind of character, and I like how when they wake Dewey up, Ned's like, it's first of the month. I need the rent. And he's like, dude, you woke me up for that? Come on.
And then I like the back and forth after Patty leaves between Dewey and Ned. Come on, man. I've been like this for years.
I've been mooching off you for years.
No, she's serious, dude. Come on. I might not ever have another girlfriend. And what he's really saying is, come on, man. I may never really have sex again.
Yep.
So you got to kind of, and then Dewey's like, okay, dude, I'll do it for you, not her. And then we cut to Dewey going to band practice. I like this bit. What'd you guys think of it?
Where he gets fired.
Yeah, that was harsh. You know, he shows up and you're fired.
And he starts talking to, I forget what the guy's name is. But he's telling him, your lyrics are lame, but that's cool because I've got some good lyrics. And the dude's like, Dewey, didn't you fucking hear me? You're fired.
Yeah, we left you a message or something like that.
Or no, he goes, I was going to tell you. He looks at his buddy and he goes, I was going to tell you last night, but you passed out. He's like, I started this band and now you're kicking me out of it?
We had a vote.
Douchebags.
He's on the phone and he's trying to see how much money he could get for his guitar from a pawn shop, probably.
Yeah, because he's got to come through for Ned, and he's at the point where he's got to sell one of his guitars. He doesn't really want to do it, but desperate times, right?
I was going to say, this scene for me, him selling his guitar, was kind of sad because earlier on he was talking about how much he doesn't want to sell his guitar, but he's selling his guitar until we get to the van and see that he's got a whole van full of guitars and instruments and everything.
Yeah, he's got a whole little band set up. And he's sitting there and the phone rings and he picks it up and it's Principal Mullins looking for Ned because Horse Green Prep School needs a substitute. And I don't know why, but it always makes me chuckle when Dewey's asking her the questions. How long's the gig? How much does it pay? And he gets this idea and then he goes, oh, and Ned, he just walked in. Let me get him for you. And then what he does with the phone.
Uh-huh.
I like how his voice changes.
This is Ned Schneebly. Cut to first day of school.
One of the interesting things that I didn't even pick up at this viewing, and I meant to look for it, is apparently when he's Ned Schneebly, his hair is parted up to one side. When he's Dewey, he parts his hair to the other side. So that was supposed to be some kind of weird little indication, little Easter egg in there.
Oh, yeah, never noticed.
Kind of like a Superman thing.
Yeah, never noticed.
So when he's at school and he's walking with Principal Mullins, I really enjoyed the little things that he is doing that makes Miss Mullins leery of him. You know, he's, I have no problem smacking him. Verbal abuse. So can I leave early today?
Yeah, can I get paid in cash?
All of these should be red fucking flags for Mullins, but she just kind of overlooks it, right?
I think she's desperate for a substitute.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is where the story is taking us, because there are a lot of things that you could say, what the fuck? But then that would just take the fun out of it. So he gets to the classroom and
she's introducing him. Why don't you write your name on the board? And as he writes it, we realize he doesn't know how to spell Ned's last name.
Right. Mr. S. And I like how he says, when do the kids go to lunch?
We already had lunch.
Oh, okay. And so Mullins walks out and he just comes clean with the classroom, right?
Who's got food in here?
I know someone does. You're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I've got a hangover.
Does anybody know what that means? I like how no matter what Dewey is doing, in a way, he is always teaching the kids something, right? Mm-hmm. I got a hangover. Who knows what that is? Means you're drunk. No, it means I was drunk yesterday. And then so we kind of get to know, or kind of introduced a little bit to the class. We know that Freddie is a loudmouth.
We know
kind of the rebel.
We know Summer is an ass kiss.
We know, yep, and we know that Tamika has food, and she comes through with a turkey sub, and so Dewey's just loving that, right?
And he pretty much says, it's recess today.
And then Summer keeps coming back with, well, how are we going to get graded?
How are we going to get our stars?
What are we going to do? And he's like, dude, didn't you not hear me? recess for the rest of the day.
We get a quick little moment where we have Principal Mullins, and she's issuing a little bit of discipline on a little girl. And the girl, she's just on the verge of bursting out into tears. And then she thrusts out her arms. Want a hug? And the girl, she screams.
Did we ever find out what the little girl did? Because I was looking for that.
Why?
No.
Like, I was wondering, like, what was it that, she was getting chastised for? What did this little girl do that was so bad?
If I had to guess, it was probably something really minor, but she has that fear or presence in her, which makes the little girl overreact. Because there's a scene later on where Mullins is talking to one of the teachers. It's in the background.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
And
about.
she's talking about the peanut butter touch the bacon tray or something like that. Something very,
trivial.
Yeah.
But we, the audience, get to see that Principal Mullins, she's not somebody that we're supposed to be liking.
Or keeping it at arm's length, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, she is the antithesis of Dewey. She is straight-laced, prim and proper, by the rules, and he's all about stick it to the man.
Yeah. And
we cut to looking at the clock, and we're watching the clock as the second hand closes in on the 12.
Yeah, and I think any of us in high school, we all did that.
Oh, in middle school, high school, any kind of school, I'm with you on that one.
Just staring at the clock.
Yeah.
And the bell rings, and he is the first one out the door, and he's running.
Because he's got shit to do, right? He's going to go put up flyers all over town. Because he's trying to start a band. He told No Vacancy, I'm going to start a band, and I'm going to beat you in the Battle of the Bands, right? Mm-hmm. And we cuts to these two guys taking the flyer, and
they're mocking him.
Totally. They're like, these guys suck. This guy sucks. And Dewey's right behind him. And Jack Black does such a good job at playing that hurt puppy look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I bought it. I felt bad for him.
Did you see what it said on the flyer?
No.
Dewey wants you for the most rocking band ever.
But I think he also has kind of a reputation too.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a scene so briefly of Dewey. He's talking with Ned and how he's got a job temping. I'm doing what you do.
Dewey, I'm not a temp. Well, and so we cut to the next day, and they are in class.
Doing absolutely nothing.
And
it's killing Summer.
She
starts poking at him.
And finally, Dewey says, okay, you guys want to learn something? I'm going to teach you about the man. And he goes into his rant and rave about how the man does this, the man does that, and rock and roll is about sticking it to the man.
I love that whole interaction where he has them all criticize him and tell him to shut up.
That's later on, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was here.
Nope. And
Principal Mullins comes in.
It's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. It's time for music. And the kids go to music, and Dewey's taking a leak, and he hears something. He hears the kids' music class, and he goes over and he peeks in, and then he sees all the kids in music, and he starts to get this idea. You can literally see the idea forming in his head. His eyebrows
are doing that goofy little thing.
Yeah.
I liked how everyone's kind of playing very lightly all this classic music, and you have Freddie in the background with the big percussion, the cymbals.
Because he's the percussionist. Absolutely. And then I love this cut. It cuts to Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water, the song, and Dewey goes to his van, opens it up. And I love how, like you said, John, he's got all these guitars, he's got a drum kit, he's got keyboards, he's got a whole fucking band in his van. I love that. But what I love, and I always chuckle, is no one in the school sees him do this. Create a whole band in the classroom. And it's just funny to me. But when they get back from class, and Dewey's like, all right, let's get serious.
New project.
And he's got a guitar on him.
Yep.
In the end of time, there was a man who knew the road, and the writing was written on the stone. And then a thin layer of fog comes in around my ankles. Roadies, that means dry ice. We're going to talk about this later. In the ancient time, an artist led the way, but no one seemed to understand. Chimes, Freddie. In his heart he knew the artist must be true, but the legend of the rent was way past due. And then, Katie, you come in with the bass.
Dewey discovers his students' musical talents during a school music class and hatches a plan to secretly form a band for Battle of the Bands. He casts Zach on guitar, Freddie on drums, Katie on bass, Lawrence on keyboards, Tamika and others as singers, himself as lead vocals and lead guitar. The rest of the class takes on roles like backup singers, roadies, tech crew, and Summer Hathaway becomes band manager. Through rock music, the kids gain confidence and a sense of identity, overcoming insecurities, parental pressures, and fears of inadequacy. Dewey mentors them in music and self-expression, but keeps the real reason for the project secret from faculty and parents. When the band auditions for the competition, they're initially rejected, but Summer tricks the organizers into thinking the kids are terminally ill, securing a spot. The school's principal, Rosalie Mullins, starts to suspect something is amiss, and Dewey fumbles through a fake academic lesson to cover his tracks. So the kids get back from music class, and Dewey has set up everything, and he has the guitar on. I like that little amplifier that he puts on his pocket. I thought that was pretty cool. And then he starts talking to the kids. I heard you in music class. You guys sound really good. We're going to start our new project, and it's called Rock Band. What's Rock Band? And he explains, all the schools from the state will compete. And they're like, is there a prize? And Dewey's like, kind of.
Yeah, recommendation to Harvard.
Yeah. And it's going to go on your permanent record.
I like how he's talking to them, and he's asking questions, and he says gold star, and they're like, I thought you didn't believe in gold stars. That was a test to see if you guys, would fall for it.
And you passed.
And so the first one he auditions is Zach, and he gets up there and, he asks him, how long you playing the guitar? You play pretty good. Can you follow this? And the first song that Dewey plays for Zach is Iron Man, Sabbath, right? And Zach has no problem keeping up with him. And as Zach is following him, Dewey changes up the tunes, and Zach has no problem repeating them. So we know that Zach's pretty skilled at the guitar.
Next, he grabs Lawrence for the keyboard.
And then he gives him...
Touch Me by the Doors, I think it was.
Yeah. And I remember thinking last night, as soon as he started singing it, the first lines of the song, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, babe. I'm thinking, but but the point is, Lawrence is good at piano.
Then he gets Katie for the bass. And what was that you were playing?
A cello.
Well, think of this as kind of like a cello. You tip it on its side and cello.
It's a bass. So good. And then he says, does anybody play drums? Freddie's like, I play percussion. He says, come here. He auditions them. And now we kind of have our core instrument players.
The nicknames that were used for when he assigns everybody to their instruments, Jack Black came up with those on the spot.
Oh, I believe that 1,000%. Yeah, he's pretty good at ad-libbing. And then we get to the bit, one of my favorite bits is when he's talking to the singers, see who can sing. And the first girl, what's her fucking name? It's not Alicia. It's...
Well, Blondie and Braceface is what the nicknames are.
So the first one he's asked can sing is Blondie. And she starts singing for him. And he stops her and he goes, stop. You have it. I don't know what it is, but you got it. You're in the band. And then he goes to Braceface and she starts singing. And I love how he goes, stop before I cry. You're in the band. You're so good. And then Summer.
Yep.
Which is ironic because I guess Miranda Cosgrove is a singer.
She had to take lessons to learn to sing bad.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. And so he's all kinds of excited. He puts all the kids in the place and then they start playing Smoke on the Water. And it's just one of those moments where you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I liked it.
Next scene, it's at lunch, and Lawrence comes up and he says, I don't think I should be in the band. And this is where we get to see what Dewey does. He gives 1,000% of enthusiasm that you can do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
He does that to every single one of the kids, that you're great and you can do this. And it really tells us that he has passion, not just for the music, but for the kids as well.
Yeah, they are starting to grow on him, and he sees something in them that they don't see in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when Lawrence comes up and he goes, I'm uncool. And he's like, no, dude, you're totally cool. You're in the band. You're going to it's going to be awesome. And he's convincing him, and he's helping him with the self-esteem.
Yep.
And at the same time, he's also furthering his selfish agenda by wanting to win Battle of the Bands. But even though that's how the idea started, it transforms into something bigger at the end, and that is the heart of this movie.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that at this point in the movie, you're questioning whether he's really starting to care for the kids, or he just wants to make sure that they become part of his band so he can win the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way the moment ends, where he has this little handshake. All right, we're going to work on this because there's more to it. Now go. Because what he does when he does that, he's giving something to Lawrence that is going to be just between the two of them.
Yeah.
And so, just another little subtle give that Dewey is having for this student that really doesn't feel like they should be here doing the band thing. It's just one more little thing.
Agreed.
So now he has everybody lined up, and he's got to figure out what everybody's role is. So
on lead guitar, Zack Attack. And he goes all the way down the line. And then for the kids that are left, you have the staged or the tech guys.
you have the backups. You have the backup singers,
Security detail.
and then you guys, you got to soundproof the room. That's your first job. And then immediately we have Bobby. Can I be the band stylist?
Of course you can. Fancy pants.
Well, originally he assigned him as one of the security, and he's like, I don't want to be security.
Yeah.
After that, then we have the roadies, and then the groupies, and then Mr. S, he's going to be the lead singer. And then, wait, can teachers be in this?
He's like, yes, teachers can be in this.
And then he puts a stop to this right now. I pledge allegiance. Everybody put your hand over your heart.
Yeah. And then he makes him take the Pledge of Allegiance. And I love, my favorite line in that whole quote is, and will not fight him for creative control.
Did you guys have a nickname that stood out to you, or a favorite nickname?
No, not really.
I kind of liked Spazzy McGee. And originally Tamika was Turkey Sub.
Yeah.
Later on in the lunchroom, the girls come up to him with the band names. What do you think of the band names they came up with? First one was Bumblebees.
And then the Koala Bears.
Then the Koala Bears. And then they just go right into Pig Rectum, right? As I think, was it the principal next to him?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's all science project. And so the next day,
Summer, she meets Mr. S in the morning.
and she's like, I don't want to be a groupie.
I did research on the internet last night.
Yeah. They're sluts and they sleep with the band. And, good for Summer for looking that up. And then, Dewey's got to get out of this quick.
He's savvy.
And fucking probably pretty on the nose with it, too.
Yes.
He says, Summer, I didn't want to say anything in there because it would probably make all the other kids jealous, but you're going to have the most important job of all. You're the band manager.
You're responsible, in charge of all of us.
And then she gets that smile on her face, and we're good to go. He dodged that bullet.
So they're in the classroom, and Summer said, let's take roll call. No, we get 3 in. It's so stupid.
And he's just like, because he's so impatient, right?
Yep.
And he wants to talk about rock, and he says, okay, let's talk about, and he says, okay, the thing about rock music is they're always inspired, and they, that's the inspiration for rock. There's inspiration for rock music. And so what you have to find out is who inspires you? Blondie. And she's all, Christina Aguilera.
No!
You, Puff Daddy. No, come on, guys. I love how he's always saying, come on.
He's so over the top.
He is, but he's so passionate about it.
Yes.
He goes, okay, Summer, you're the factotum. Go take this schedule down. And
8:15 to 10, rock history. 10 to 11, rock appreciation and theory.
and then band practice after lunch.
But this is, you were talking about it earlier, but this is where we really start to see him becoming the teacher. You know, he's actually getting into it.
Yeah, because it's something that he's passionate about, right? And he's taking the situation that was given to him and he's trying to make the best of it.
And then one of the students says, what about math? No,
Nope.
not important.
History?
No.
World cultures? No, what? Guys! And I think this is the bit, or somewhere along the line, he says that one great rock concert or one great rock show can change the world. And that's kind of their philosophy moving forward.
Yeah, I think the line is putting on a great show is the most important thing you can do.
Yeah.
And then Mr. S, he says that they're going to sing his song. And then like, what? Well, let's hear it.
It's a work in progress.
Shut up, Schneebly. Let's hear the song. And he's like, okay, I wasn't prepared to reveal this. And then he sings him the song. And the way he does it, and he does the instruments, and he gives us a breakdown of what the show's going to look like, I can hear it and see it in my mind's eye while he's doing it. And it's kind of a catchy tune.
I thought the tune was actually felt very Tenacious D, because if you listen to their music, it's that style.
Well, he is Tenacious D, so that would make sense.
And it's telling a story.
Yeah.
The next bit we have, we're back in the cafeteria, and the girls come up with the names, and then Miss Mullen, she comes up, and he's, get away, get away.
Because he wants to ask Miss Mullen about potentially taking the kids on a field trip. And at this point, she's like, no. Just no.
Yeah, substitutes don't take kids on field trips.
Yeah, not a good idea.
And then so briefly, he chats with the teachers, and then after lunch, the band, they're practicing, but he wants them to loosen up. And, you know, I like this bit.
So do I. He tells Freddie, you know, you got to tighten it up, the drummer. And then he's talking to Zach, and Zach's like, dude, I'm just playing it the way you fucking told me. And it kind of hits Dewey like, yeah, you are, but you got to learn how to relax. And maybe this is how, you know.
You got to learn how to do you.
Yeah. And this is where you teach him the ultimate power stance. And I love this bit because as he's holding up the pick and Dewey says, now open your eyes like you're crazy. The look on that kid's face makes me laugh every single fucking
he looks great.
time. And he's all, boom, and it just, it's so good.
And then he's handing out homework, those CDs.
Which I thought was great homework.
Yeah.
You know, for Blondie. And then Zach's like, hey, are we going to be goofing around like this every day? And Dewey goes, we're not goofing off. We're making musical fusion. Are we going to be making musical fusion every day?
And Tamika, she's lingering behind, and she finally comes up and she asks, can I be a singer?
And he's like, where were you when I was asking for singers? And he says, well, you got to sing for me.
You can't do it if you can't sing.
Right. I can't let you be the singer. And she does Chain of Fools, and it blows them away, and it blows us, the audience, away. And all the pieces are finally coming together. And I love this moment because that Tamika storyline is going to come back.
Yeah.
And and when we get there, I'll tell you.
Because you get right away that she feels like another one of the outcasts in the,
very insecure, and absolutely.
she's so much bigger than all the other kids that she stands out and doesn't want to be a target.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's curious is he says, you're a singer now. Welcome to the band. So I find that modestly ironic because she was already part of the group.
Yeah.
But now he's telling her that you're even more in the group.
Yeah.
You know, kind of weird.
Well, the band, I think, is considered different than from the crew.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure.
And she was part of the crew. But that's just how I see it.
We get a brief moment the next morning where Dewey gets to see Zach getting a hard time from his dad.
Listen, you little motherfucker, you will not do your rock and roll guitar bullshit until after your homework is done. That's what I heard.
Pretty much.
And Dewey's like, man, fuck that guy. They go into class, and
This is where Dewey kind of teaches them to stand up for themselves.
What is rock and roll all about?
scoring chicks.
No. Getting drunk?
No. Sticking it to the man. Yes.
And right now, I'm the man.
Tell me off, right?
Yep.
Shut the hell up, Schneebly.
So they move on to the next thing. And and then Billy blurts out, "You're tacky and I hate you." We already moved on from this.
See me after class.
See me after class, yeah. And he says, "Okay, guys, what really pisses you off?" And one of the kids says, "Get no allowance." And so what does Dewey do? Turns it into a fucking song.
Doing homework.
Turns it into a fucking song. And he's building and building, and he knows he's going to end it with Zach because he got this idea, I think, or this
I think
lesson
so too.
plan
I think so too.
from Zach and Dad.
Well, he figures that if he teaches this lesson, Zach might, stand up to his dad and say, "I'm going to be part of this band."
Yeah, yeah. And so he comes up to Zach and he says, "Well, if all of this, if you had to tell somebody off, what would you say?" "I don't know." "Come on, man, what would you say?" And then he says, "Step off." And then they write and then he goes into the chorus
step-off
and the step off song. And I love at the end, he goes, "Okay, now that's how you write a great rock song." And yeah, that was a great moment.
Which I kind of feels a little bit foreshadows, they write the song in the class that inspires Zach now to go home and write a song.
Oh, I agree.
Next scene, we have Mr. Schneebly. He's kind of bonding with the faculty, and they're kind of sort of laughing it up a little bit. And,
What do you think of testing? Well, I think that the children are our future. I mean, you got to tell them and help them lead the way, right? He's quoting Whitney Houston.
Isn't that a song? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
no, it's not.
And then Zach comes up and he says,
That was
"Hey,
a
Mr.
cool lesson today.
He's all, "Thanks, man." And then you can see the accomplishment and the
Pride.
there you go in Dewey's face. He's like, "Okay, maybe I'm making a difference."
Then we get a brief little montage that's showing a little bit of passage of time as each one of our students are honing their skills in their parts that they are playing.
And I like this montage bit because it goes through the whole like what he's doing on the blackboard to band practice to the kids practicing on their own.
Yep.
I mean, it just shows us everything we need to know.
One thing I always wonder about is that throughout the different scenes that go on here, the kids, like whenever the teacher's around, they're warning him the teacher's coming, or the principal's coming and all this stuff, and they're hiding the soundproofing and all that kind of stuff. But yet they never suspect that what they're doing is not the right thing. Like, they're smart kids. Yet how does he explain to them that we need to hide all this?
I think that they just enjoy having something different to do.
Mm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, me too.
We get a scene where Miss Mullins, she's walking down the hallway. "Frankie, what happened to your hair? And why are your sleeves rolled up? Roll your sleeves down."
It's punk rock, man.
"Hey, Miss Mullins, you're the man." "Well, thank you, Frank."
And so now we cut to they're going to sneak out of the school, and they all get into Dewey's van, and they go down to the auditions for Battle of the Bands. And I like this bit too because
The security team.
yeah, he's always Dewey's always on the lookout or is always doing something. And they get down there, and he has to go, try to get the audition, and Freddie disappears, and he starts freaking out about that, and he's got to go find her. And then Tamika doesn't want to go on because she's insecure, and she thinks people are going to laugh at her.
Pep talks her up, and I love how he's really laying into Freddie after he pulls him out of the van.
Yeah.
Very caring.
Yeah,
It shows that
absolutely.
he's actually grown attached to these kids. The pep talk that he gives Tamika, I thought, was one of the best pep talks in that, she starts talking about her size and everything, and he relates her to Aretha Franklin. And he's like, "You can rock."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she did sing Chain of Fools.
Gets back inside. Wait, what's going on? We haven't auditioned yet. No, sorry. The bills, it's all filled up. And we're overbooked as it is.
And he's like, God damn it. He starts throwing the chairs and shit. And in the meantime, we cut back to the school. And this is what you were saying, John, the security bit. I thought that was pretty good. They had everything on lockdown. They have Mr. Schneebly on a monitor teaching, and you have the kids that stayed behind answering the questions.
Right.
Very Mission Impossible-ist, right?
So Summer, she's like, you can't take no for an answer. Well, you heard him. Well, I think I have an idea.
Which, I mean, so funny.
Well, I thought it was the best part of that was, he goes in and he tells them these kids are dying,
They're terminal.
He's just trying to do it because he made all these promises that he probably shouldn't have made. And when he goes back out, he's like, having the kids cough and act like they're sick. And
fucking loved Freddie laying on the ground.
All of them, right? But yeah, Freddie's just laying in the middle of the fucking street. And Dewey comes out and gives him the thumbs up, and they all start cheering. He's all, shut up, you're supposed to be dying.
And then Freddie falls back down onto the ground.
Yeah. We cut to the van going back, and they're listening to Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. And this is one of the best stories I think I've ever heard. During the filming, they wanted to get the rights to Led Zeppelin's song. So what they did is they had a concert, or they filmed.
It was probably like a Tenacious D concert or something.
They filmed everybody cheering, or basically they asked Led Zeppelin, can we use the Immigrant Song for this movie? And Led Zeppelin, here tell, was moved by it and said, yeah, guys, of course, which is why the Immigrant Song is in School of Rock. So anyways, they make it back.
And Dewey, he's just on cloud nine.
Oh, yeah. And this kind of leads me to one of my favorite scenes. The girls walk up and they say, hey, we have a name for the band. And he's like, all right, fucking hit me. And they drop the shirt, and it says School of Rock.
Oh, and then the crazed look in his eyes.
School of Rock. And then he sings the tune, and then someone goes, quiet, Mullins.
Red alert.
And this is I love this scene so
Mullins.
much. Mullins comes in, she goes, one of the teachers across the hall said they could hear music.
He's like, there's no music here. I don't know what they're talking about.
It looks like that teacher's on crack.
What a thing to say.
I know.
And she's looking at, well, what's that? And points to the guitar.
Oh, that. I find that teaching using
Learning
sing-song
sing-song
helps. And she's all, well, you won't mind if I sit in this afternoon, do you? And
No, you can come back this afternoon.
she's all, it is the afternoon I was talking about now. And then he does the bit with the song.
Math is a wonderful thing.
Oh, so good. But what sells it is the very end. No, it's 8. And she's like, no, it's 9.
That's right. I was testing you.
And you passed. Oh, it's so good. And so he gets away with it.
And then after school, Schneebly and Mullins, they're walking out, and she says, let's just stick to the curriculum. I don't want any of this experimental education. And then right off the bat, he's like, would you like to go out for a cup of coffee?
And they cut to the bar. And did you hear what Mullins says to the waitress?
Yeah, to the waiter.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure you don't have any coffee?
This is this big mug of beer.
And the reason why he's here with her is because he found out from the faculty that one time during a dinner, Mullins got drunk, and she's on top of a table screaming, belting out a Stevie Nicks song.
Edge of 17. And so while they're there, Dewey puts on Edge of 17 because he's going to hit her up now. He's going to try and make his move.
He's got to grease the wheels.
Yeah, not on her per se, but on getting the kids a field trip.
Yep.
So, and she's like, huh, as she's grooving along to the song, and it's a great fucking song, right? Anything by Stevie Nicks. But she's grooving along, and he's like, yeah, there's this great concert that I would love to take the kids to. And then her first response is, would it be educational? And I think that keys Dewey right away, right? Because it wasn't no, it was inquisitive. And she goes, well, maybe we can make an exception. But if you notice the amount of beer that she's been drinking, she's probably pretty buzzed. because she looks like a lightweight.
Well, the
Right.
funny thing is, like, he's just the way he describes it. There's Bach and all these other musicians and everything. And I kept waiting for the principal to say, "Yeah, I'd like to go too."
That would have thrown a monkey wrench into the business, wouldn't it?
It certainly would have. So afterwards, they're sitting in the van. They're back at school. And we get to see that Roz, she's got a heart. And she starts confessing about how under pressure she is in this job being the principal.
And she wasn't always like this. She doesn't like being this person.
And she feels like nobody there likes her, and they think that she's a bitch. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Joan Cusack does a great job. Her and Jack Black's chemistry really pays off, and as colleagues, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, ultimately, Jack Black wants something, but he listens. Dewey seems like a very caring kind of guy, compassionate kind of guy, right? So,
but I think that he got more than he bargained for. When she starts breaking down about it's her head in the smasher,
right?
And he's trying to get out of it. You can tell that he's awkward. Oh, you're cool.
Yeah, and I also think that she keeps saying, if anything happens, I'm responsible. My head's in the smasher, and I think at some point his face shows, oh fuck, well I'm kind of fucking you because I'm not who I say I am, and I could probably get you and a lot of these people in a lot of trouble.
But it gets to show us, the audience, that she is somebody that we should have feelings for.
Correct.
Yeah, he's not only inspiring the kids, he's starting to inspire people outside the classroom.
Next scene, we got Billy. He shows up with the costumes. It's glitter rock, and it's glam, and it's fabulous.
It looks something right out of something David Bowie would wear, So, and then as he's talking to Billy, he hears this tune out of the side of his head, and he looks over and he sees Zach, and he goes, "What the fuck is that?" And Zach's like, "Oh, it's just something I wrote." And he goes, "Well, let's fucking hear it, right? Why are you holding out on us?" And it's a pretty good fucking song.
It's so subtle, but it's so Dewey when he's asking for the lyrics. He's snapping his fingers, but he doesn't stop until the paper ends up in his hands. So he must have snapped like 17 times.
Yeah, I noticed that last night when I was watching it. And then he looks at it, and I love it. He goes, "Okay, what does he tell Lawrence? No more books. Time for rock." And they all take their positions.
I like how they go back. He goes back and forth with him, showing him, so much attention and helping to rewrite the song a little bit to make it work.
We do get to see that there is a little bit of time. It's very subtle, but they start the song, and we have Katie and Freddie in the costumes. But when the song finishes, they're back in their regular uniforms. So it's subtly implied that they've practiced this song more than once.
Yeah, they went. It wasn't just instant that they had the song.
Oh, I didn't think so, because as they're going and starting to play it, when it cuts, they're already to the chorus, and they all seem to be driving. You're right, the costumes have changed. And I like this bit because he says, you know what would be good here, Zach? It's rock got no reason, rock got no rhyme. And then he looks to the backup singers and goes, and backup singers, we need some ooh la la la, ooh la la la. It's so good. And they start it from the chorus, and it sounds fucking great. So
it does.
Yeah.
And then right after this, we find out it's the day before the big show, and he catches up. Roz, excuse me, I just wanted to run about our little field trip tomorrow. What field trip?
There's procedures. There's not enough time. I don't even know what this fucking is.
It's parents' night tonight.
And when he says, "Where is it? What is this?" He says, "What's wrong, Roz? Are you mad at me or something?" He's totally deflecting it, right?
Yes, he is.
And then and in fact, you're right. It's parents' night, and she's all stressed out, and she says, "Would you go with me?"
I like how she thinks that, he's almost she's like asking him to be the date and to go with him. And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, I wasn't planning on going. And she's like, you have to put on a presentation.
You have to go. You're their teacher.
But yeah, she confesses that she feels a little more relaxed with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he agrees that he will pick her up at 6:45. Dewey's ruse collapses when a paycheck sent to Ned exposes the deception. During a heated parent-teacher meeting, Dewey's true identity is revealed and he flees, ashamed and forced to move out. Rosalie is blindsided and the kids are left disheartened. The next day, the students rebel. Not wanting their efforts to be in vain, they sneak out and pick up Dewey, bringing him to the Battle of the Bands. Ned, inspired to reclaim his rocker roots, also defies Patty and joins them. At the concert, the kids perform a song written by Zach. Though No Vacancy technically wins, the School of Rock captures the crowd's heart. The parents, initially outraged, are moved by their children's growth and talent. Rosalie herself cheers with pride. In the epilogue, Dewey opens an after-school rock program called School of Rock, coaching young musicians. Ned, finally free of Patty, joins him as a teacher, rekindling his love for music. Roll credits. And so after school, Ned is at home and
He's getting ready.
yeah, but it's Dewey. But Ned's there too.
Yes.
And he goes, this is weird. I got a check from Horace Green for $1,200 and I never even taught there.
I better call them.
And Dewey's like, whoa. And I like how Ned looks at him and was like, what did you fucking do, dude?
I did something bad, Ned.
He goes, one day, just give me one day and I'll fix it, right? And I like, he goes through the whole breakdown with him. You know, I started off, I was just going to sub there, but then these kids, they rocked and there was Lawrence and he was like, oh, I'm not cool. And then there's this, that, and the other. And one day, just give me one day.
And in comes Patty.
And she's like,
What's going on?
I like how I think the final words that Dewey says to Ned as he's leaving is, don't tell Patty.
I think so. Or he mouths it or something.
Yeah.
And what does he do, of course?
Well, of course.
I'm going out on a date. And then we realize that Ned, he's fucked because you get one last, what's going on, Ned? From Patty.
And then,
know.
Dewey does the whole behind her back thing. And then she turns and he stops and walks out and he's all, but yeah. Oh no, we saw it coming a mile away. And so we're at school and Dewey's giving his presentation.
Yeah. Math, English, science, what else? Geography, history, Latin, Spanish, French, Latin, math.
I like how the kids or the parents are going, what is this homework they've been getting?
And what the fuck is this? My son is really into rock music. Is this your doing? And Lawrence's dad's holding up the CD. How is this fucking homework? And they're all like, blah, blah. And the kids are finally, come on, dude, just tell them. Just tell them the
about
truth.
the project.
Right.
And then we see a police officer outside in the hallway.
And so if you're Dewey, you're getting it from both sides. And you're like a balloon about to burst, right? So Dewey does what he has to do.
Because now you've got Patty, Ned, another police officer, and Roz in the hallway.
I couldn't believe that Patty, and I understand Patty is like, the bad person in this movie, but she called the cops on him.
Yeah.
That seems pretty brutal to me.
The cop comes in and says, we need to talk to you. And the parents and everybody's like, what's going on? And I love Dewey's first line. He looks right at Ned and goes, dude, you told her?
We do get a moment when they arrive at school and Dewey does confess.
He does.
To Roz.
But Roz takes it as he's trying to be metaphorical.
Yeah, she takes it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But he tries to come clean.
He does, to his credit. And so he tells the students and the parents, I'm not Ned. My real name is Dewey Finn. And I just want to tell you that you guys all have great kids. You should all be proud. I'd be stoked if they were my kids.
And he starts giving a breakdown of how wonderful each one of these kids are.
Yeah, he goes, what does he say? She sings an octave higher at age 10, and you know how many adults can't do that? And he's just breaking it down for him. And the last line is the best.
Yeah, where he freaks them all out.
Well, then he says, your kids have touched me, and I'm pretty sure I've touched them too. And then he takes off, and then the sheer panic in the parents' faces.
Well,
what the fuck?
I like how they give us a little pause.
Yeah.
And then they freak out.
Yeah. And then we cut to Dewey running down the hallway. I love how he had time to grab the two guitars.
And so now he's back at the apartment, and Patty and Ned show up, and they start arguing.
This is where Ned finally tells Dewey, it's time for you to move out. You
Yep.
got to go.
So now it's the next day, and the students, they're in class, and they're talking about what happened yesterday, and they're sharing with each other, and they start arguing.
And I love this bit because they show a united front on all sides, right? I love how Summer says, I can't believe we weren't getting graded on any of this. And Freddie's like, yeah, that dude's a fraud. Fuck that guy. And then Lawrence was, nah, man, we had fun. He taught us something. He was cool. And then him and Freddie go back and forth. And I love how Tamika stands up and she says,
Oh yeah, she defends him.
she defends Lawrence. She says, you touch him, I will stick your arms through your throat or something like that. But they show solidarity. And I think Alicia Braceface is like, we should just go do the damn show. We practiced way too hard not to do this.
Yeah, she was great. You know, when she says, I say we just get out of here and play the damn show.
Yeah. And I love the bus driver because Summer comes on, counts, okay, we're ready to go. And the bus driver's like, where's Mr. Schneebly? Oh, didn't you hear? We have to pick him up at his house.
In the meantime, we have Roz. Her head is in the smasher with the parents, and they are laying into her.
Yeah, they are.
This is, again, one of my favorite parts is they're really laying into her and she's just taking it. And then she's like, I got to step out for a second. She steps out. And then when she comes back later and tells them, just with a smile on her face, oh, by the way, all of your kids are missing.
Yeah. Because when she steps out, I like how she goes into the stairwell.
And she goes into the corner.
And just stands in the corner.
And then she hears somebody yelling, help! The children are missing. And then, that's what she goes back in. But yeah, the smile on her face.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking, my life cannot get any worse.
Well, she figures she's already done.
Yeah. And then we cut to Freddie and Lawrence. They're at Dewey's apartment
and
trying to wake him up.
Kicking the mattress.
Yeah. Come on, dude. You said one great rock show will change the world. Let's go do that rock show. And Dewey's like, yeah. I did fucking say that. Yeah, let's go. And as they're getting ready and leaving, Patty and Ned are coming home.
I like that moment when Dewey looks out the window. He's like, no way.
So punk rock.
Yeah, the kids are out there. They're like, come on.
Yeah, I love how Gordon, I think his name was, or shortstop. He's sitting on the hood of the bus, on the bus.
Yeah.
What bus driver lets a kid do that?
No kidding. When Dewey gets onto the bus, he apologizes to them for lying to them.
Yeah.
But Summer's like, no,
we'll apologize later. We got a show to get to.
We got to go.
Yeah.
We go back to Ned, and he's with Patty, and he's like, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to the show. You want to go?
Yeah, I want to go to the fucking show.
And then the way he just closes the door on her, he just shuts her.
Because she's all like, you're still letting him walk all over you, blah, blah, blah. And then he leaves. And it was kind of a good fuck you to her because he's standing up for himself.
Well, he did. I think it finally clicks with him that she's sitting there saying, you let him walk all over you when she's walking all over him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I love the intensity of the music the intensity of the music is growing as we're going back and forth between these two subtle story arcs about the kids going to the show and Ned leaving Patty and then the parents, freaking out. I love the way the music builds because it's just building to a crescendo.
Yeah. And we get to the Battle of the Bands. And they go inside, and everyone's like, you're fucking late. Hurry, you're next. You're next.
On next.
Yeah. Dewey says, look.
He gives a little pep talk.
This is a big moment for us. I say we do Zach's song, but that's just my opinion. Zach's like, why? And he goes, because, dude, your song rocks harder than mine. You're 10 years old, and you're already better than me, and I suck. And you guys are just beginning. You're just starting, and there's so much potential there. And so he really firmly believes that. And I love what Zach says. He says, all right, but you got to sing it. And he
there
says,
is so much heart here.
Yeah. He says, are you sure? And he goes, man, I'm no singer. And he's like, okay, I'll fucking sing it. And then the lighting kid comes up. All the cues were to the other song. And Dewey's like, you got to feel it, man. Rock is a feeling. and it's a vibe,
And I believe in you.
and you can fucking do it. And
Gives the quick little prayer.
but Fancy Pants gives him his uniform.
Yep.
He says, "You wanted uniforms, put it on." And I thought it was perfect because very reminiscent of
Absolutely.
Angus Young.
Of Angus
Right.
Young, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because he's such a ham on
He's
stage.
such a ham in the short shorts, and he gives his pep talk, and they go out. And this is easily my favorite scene of the movie, hands down. That when it all comes together,
Yep.
and he comes out and he says, "We're the School of Rock."
Well, before that, you've got the parents trying to get into the concert, into the Battle of Bands, and the guy's like, "No ticket, you're not getting in."
Sorry, old man, where the fuck you think you're going? And Rosalie's like, "Fuck, fine. Maybe we should just get tickets." So the Battle of the Bands just got a huge revenue pop.
Mhm.
So, and I like how all the parents bully their ways to the front stage,
So typical of white privilege, if you will.
if you will. And so the band comes on stage, and Dewey introduces them, and
Says who the song is by Zach Mooneyham.
Wait.
then it cuts to his dad, and he's like, "Huh," right? And then the song starts, and fuck, I'm just mesmerized for the next 5 minutes because it is so perfectly put together. And the part that brings me to tears every single time is when Tamika comes out and does her, and it's not the fact that she comes out and she owns it and she does it, but what brings me to tears is the astonishment and pride on her parents' face. Like they had no idea that this was their daughter, and that moment of being proud of your child up there, it resonates with me. And thinking about it now, right? I mean, and that's what makes this movie so wonderful. That it takes this moment of this young girl overcoming her fears, getting up there and fucking killing it at the same time, right? Because that song is wonderful and easily my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderfully choreographed, awesome song.
And it knocks everybody's socks off. Nobody was expecting this, right? They thought it was a gimmick. And the moral of the story is Dewey took these kids, created this musical fusion, and this is the benefits of it.
But every bit as wonderful is backstage. You get Roz going back there, and she's like, "That was incredible!" And
You're not mad?
And she hugs him.
Well, I like how they first stop her and like, "Do you have a pass or anything?" And she's like, "I'm the principal." Okay.
Yeah, because everyone's so impressed, right? And she's like, he goes, "Are you mad?" Mad? I'm furious. It was so good. And then the two dads, right? Your son is very skilled. Yeah, so is yours. And in a subtle way, Zach getting up there and doing his guitar solo and being the one to write the song and does this was a big fuck you to his dad for giving him all that shit.
No doubt.
And so now maybe dad will do some growing and say, "You know what? This is what my kid wants to do. This is what my kid loves. Let's support that and the other stuff as well. But let's not be so dismissive of fucking rock music."
So what
all
you're
right?
saying is he stuck it to the man.
Yes, he fucking stuck it to the man, stuck it to him hard, and maybe now the man will listen to him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, fucking so good.
I also love the little bit, where the guitarist that replaced Dewey is talking to Principal Mullins.
You're so hot.
She's like, "Wait, what?"
What?
Yeah, just that whole little back and forth.
I like what he's wearing. I want one of those. The little shoulder thing with the bare chest. That's what I want.
You don't have one of those?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You were supposed to give me one, but you haven't come through yet. And then also I like, just all the congratulations that they were giving each other backstage.
Absolutely.
And then the guys who were running the Battle of the Band are like, who's their manager? And then the camera drops. Summer, I'm the manager. And then it's told to us that no vacancy wins.
Well, it was foreshadowed earlier when Jack, where Dewey says it's not about winning. It's just going out and putting on just an amazing performance. And so unfortunately, you're right. They don't win. And Jack starts to take it bad, or Dewey starts to take it bad. But then they come up and say, no, it was never about winning.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You told us. I mean, one great show. Yeah. And we fucking put on a great kick-ass show. And Dewey's like, yeah, we did, didn't we? And when the crowd or when the audience hears that it's no vacancy, everybody fucking starts booing. They're like, what?
Yeah, and they start
Except they're-
chanting for.
But there's one guy on when we cut, it's house left, and he's like, yeah, no vacancy.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. But yeah, everyone starts chanting, School of Rock, School of Rock.
What is that?
It's an encore. All right, everybody go. No, just the band. Okay, everybody go. That's so cute. And then they come out and they do It's a Long Way from AC/DC. And that takes us into the credits.
Credits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We get a little montage, life a little later. No more Patty, probably.
Nope.
Because Ned, he is back into music again.
Absolutely. And Summer's getting dropped off, and she's talking to someone. I'll talk to the band, and if you were so desperate, why do you keep lowballing us? And then Dewey gives everybody a moment to shine, except for Katie. Katie doesn't get a bass moment. But the singers do, the drummer does, and Zach does, and even Lawrence. But,
Well, I liked how pretty much Dewey's last line. Did you catch what his last line was?
Lying or singing?
It was, the screen had already gone black.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he say?
He has a quick little line that he says, that was a good class.
Oh, yeah. Good shit. And that was School of Rock. All right, guys, what do you think? You guys ready to rate this flick?
I'm ready to rate this flick. How about you, John? Are you ready to rate this flick?
For those about to review, we salute you.
All right. Hey, Professor, how do we do our ratings?
We do our ratings on a scale of 1 to 5 fucks. 5 fucks is a movie that we think is cinematic gold. A 1 fuck movie is a movie where you get done watching it and you're thinking, I'm never watching that again.
And what's a 0?
A 0 fuck movie is where you get done watching it, you turn to your buddy and you're like, oh, for shit's sake, what the hell? What was that? Why would you make me? I want 1 hour and 49 minutes of my life back.
Or in other words, we just don't give a fuck. All right, Professor, your movie, your review.
School of Rock is a wonderful watch. Every time I watch it, it's just as good as the first time. Having all of those little Jack Black moments, the over-the-top enthusiasm that he embellishes throughout the movie is just so charming. And the kids, they deliver so well. And by the third act, I am completely along for the ride. And I am so euphoric when we reach the song School of Rock. It just builds so nicely. And I appreciate that we see Dewey's character grow from being just kind of sort of a lazy do-nothing guy to actually feeling influenced to want to make himself be a better person. And the fact that you get to see the children develop their story arcs as well is such a satisfying watch. And it's really fun to have all of these little moments where we see the whole bit, like with the chalkboard. I paused the movie this time around and I tried to read all the different bands. It was really interesting. It's like somebody had to come up with that. Somebody put all that together. It's like, wow. Anyway, I really think that it's an easy watch. It's a lighthearted movie, and I think it's going to be one of these movies that I don't mind watching it whenever. So I feel really comfortable giving it 4.25 fucks.
4.25 fucks from the Professor.
You go next.
You want me to go next?
You go next.
All right. School of Rock is a fantastic film. I love the beginning, the middle, and the end. I think it is cast perfectly. It brings a smile to my face every single time. The soundtrack is great. The cast is great. It has one of those moments that will put a tear in my eye every single time I watch it. Doesn't matter when or where. I'm giving School of Rock cinematic fucking gold 5 fucks.
Listen to you.
I fucking love this movie. I watch it anytime, anywhere, anyplace.
Yeah, it's a great watch.
Yeah, and the song always gets stuck in my head for days. If you want to be the teacher's pet. I'm going to need some ooh la la las. Baby, you just better forget it.
Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la.
All right, buddy, you're up.
Should I go next?
Yes, sir.
Before I do, Don, do you want to guess my rating?
You're going to give School of Rock 3.75 fucks.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Okay. School of Rock rides almost entirely on Jack Black's electric charisma. His comic timing, manic energy, and legit musical chops make him impossible to ignore. The The kid actors, acting-wise, they're decent, but they really shine in the music. These kids actually play the instruments and sing like mini rock stars, which is very impressive. The build-up is a fun ride, but a few parts dragged for me, causing the movie to lose a little bit of momentum. And yeah, the movie wraps with the classic movie cliche of the once angry parents magically become proud and totally cool with everything, forgetting that Dewey basically committed fraud and kidnapped their kids. It's still a fun, feel-good watch, especially the first time. But the more that I watch it, the less funny and fresh it feels to me. It's still not a bad way to kill a couple hours. It's for those reasons I'm giving School of Rock 3.75 out of 5 fucks.
Damn, nailed it.
Yes, you did.
So there you go. With 3.75 fucks from the Comic Book Guy, 4.25 fucks from the Professor, and Cinematic Gold from myself, that gives the School of Rock an average of 4.3 fucks, which now ties it in the 9th spot with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Shang-Chi, The Crow, The Road Warrior, The Matrix, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Hot Fuzz. It is slightly better than Hunt for the Wilder People, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Saving Private Ryan, and Casino Royale. And it is slightly worse than Alien, Up, Rear Window, and Superman the Movie. So there you go, boys. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Three Guys in a Flick. If you would like to know which movie we're going to be reviewing next, please check out the website. Speaking of which, hey, John, where can they find us?
They can find us at 3guysinaflick.com, where we go ahead and post all of our show notes. You can find all of our podcasts, and there's a web form on there that you can submit a movie to go in the helmet to have us review down the road. You can also find us at all of social media, where on Tuesdays, I've started announcing what movie we will be releasing on Thursday. And you can find us at any place that hosts podcasts. And while you're listening to us, go ahead and subscribe. And if you'd like, in the comments, you can put a movie you'd like us to review.
All right. I just want to thank Nolan N for throwing this into the Bronco helmet. We had a lot of fun watching and reviewing it. We hope you had a lot of fun listening to it. I also want to thank anyone else who listens and who has suggested a movie. If you keep listening, we'll keep recording. For Three Guys in a Flick, I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. Thanks for listening. God of Rock, thank you for this chance to kick ass. We are your humble servants. Please give us the power to blow people's minds with our high voltage rock. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Three guys with some mics, yeah, darting to the flicks. We're here for the real talk, no time for the tricks. Don as the captain, steering us right. Kid drops knowledge, shedding light. John with the comics, bringing the hype. From the good, the bad, to the absurd, we break it down, make sure you heard. Passion for the screen, we ride or die about movies. You know, we always give a fuck, no lie.
Oh, so you didn't suggest
You're not recording that, right?
Oh, I am. Don't worry, dude. Dude, I will screw you on a lot of things, but never that. Tonight's episode, The School of Rock.
There's no the.
Yes, there is.
No,
Not in the movie. They took the out.
I don't give a fuck.
This one was not listed as Nolan, but it's below Nolan's. It's below a bunch of Nolan's.
Really? Because it says School of Rock right next to it, Nolan N.
I didn't think he did this one.
Well, you
I
were
thought wrong.
wrong.
I thought wrong.
You were wrong. All right.
The. Oh, man. You didn't say it.
I know I was going to, but you beat me to it. We were going to do
We're
it
supposed to together, yeah.
But
You were
amen?
mouthing it right as I said it.
I thought you were going to say amen, but you came out with amen, and it fucked me all up.
Amen. So,
Well, however he says it, I don't give a fuck. It just fucked me up. All right. Clearly one low-hanging fruit. I'm sure we all have it.
there's none other.
School my cock.
No,
School of Cock. Come on.
Could do that too.
that's it.
That's the only one, you think?
That's it.
You have also school my crotch.
I guess you could have School of Crotch,
Yeah.
but I like School of Cock better.
Of course you do. Who doesn't? All right. May all of your days and nights be filled with happiness. All right. Fuck off. Good night.
Tune in, feel the thrill, catch the vibe. As 3 guys in a flick, keep the passion alive. Fuck that guy.